What's up, y'all? I'm Jalen.
And I'm Jada.
And thanks for tuning in to another episode of We Out Here.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast.
Yo, what's up?
How you feeling today, Jalen?
I am, pretty good. A little tired. I drove most of the weekend. Went all the way up to Albany, New York. But other than that, I'm good. Chilling. How about you? How you feeling?
Just taking it a day at a time.
As you should.
Learning, growing by myself. So yeah.
Today we are back with another episode discussing not only our project that we've been working on, but also we have, not really a review, but a discussion about a video that was sent to me earlier this week. And the video was sent to me by Dr. S2E12. And she sent it to me on YouTube. I'm trying to figure out what the name of the person is. Give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. So the title of this is Why and How They Had to Strategically Ruin and Replace Black American Music. It was uploaded by Dark Black Magic, but I believe it's a excerpt from their podcast. Basically, it's just giving a rundown of music and what it means to Black Americans. And I thought there were lots of interesting points that were made. Did you get a chance to listen to the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
You can go ahead and start.
Okay. So the very first question that they ask, and they talk a little fast, so I didn't catch nobody's name, though I'm sure it's in the description of the YouTube video.
Yeah, y'all check out the video. They'll find it.
It's not in his name, not in the description either. But I just told y'all.
Check out the video.
Yeah, uploaded by Dark Black Magic. The video is called Why and How They Had to Strategically Ruin and Replace Black American Music. So the very first question that's asked in the excerpt, what is the connection between music and our right brain? So our right side is supposed to be like the logical and critical thinking side of our brain. And then I believe the left side is supposed to be like our artistic side. So I thought that was really interesting that basically they start off saying that music is deeper than just something to listen to. It's not just entertainment, but it's actually connected to how we think and how we logically process things. As Black Americans, our native language was taken from us. So we needed a new way to communicate with each other that was deeper than the language that was given to us by the Europeans. He immediately starts to describe music as a new voice for Black Americans. And it made me think of Negro spirituals, blues/jazz, rock and hip hop. Because if y'all didn't know, Black people are the originators of most of y'all favorite genres of music. Most meaning all of them.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But we'll get into that. Um, the idea that there's something not in the words, but in the actual music and the way it sounds really connected with me. I often talk about Zora Neale Hurston and her. I wouldn't say it's poetry, but it's an antidote, a short story about her going to a jazz club and having this visceral feeling of being connected to the jazz music, and her imagining herself running with her ancestors, going on a hunt. Like it's this whole like big descriptive thing. And then she comes back to reality and she looks around and sees that nobody else has the same feeling as her. And she describes those faces as not being of color or black. And she was confused as to how they ain't feel that. Like
That's what we
y'all
be
didn't feel
saying.
that in y'all soul.
That's what we be saying on a regular basis.
Right. That didn't hit you. And so he then describes, he as in the man that's talking, he's a professor of some sort. He describes the biggest change of the music is our instruments. So every time the instruments change, the types of music and the genre that we created changes.
Yeah. Before we get like deep into the instruments,
Yeah.
I also wrote down in terms of lack of communication
Mm-hmm.
and like the deeper meaning of music
Mm-hmm.
and why I don't why we feel it so much
Mm-hmm.
even without the lyrics.
Oh, that just made me think of that one time. But go ahead.
Why it has a deeper meaning is because that was
Oh my gosh,
What?
that scared the bejesus out of me.
why would it ever do that?
Oh my gosh, my heart.
That was a notification on my computer. I've never in my life had a sound that went with notification. We gotta cut that shit out. That just pissed me off.
We could leave it in.
What was I saying? Why it means so much is because we had that lack of communication, and that's how we communicated with each other.
Yeah.
In the same way that words are so deep and
Yes.
hold meaning and are important. And then it also made me think of, I don't know if I shared this at one point, but just me personally growing up, I enjoy other people's cultures and to see how they interact and just live and stuff like that. And I often feel a lack within our culture, but our culture is within the music.
Yes.
And I feel like there's a struggle within that culture because we don't have control of that any longer.
Correct. Which is what is being talked about in the entire video. When you said that, it made me think of I was really into Chicago house music for my playlist for Pilates. And after the class, this lady came up to me, one of the Y people. She came up to me. She was an older lady, and she was like, I just really don't like that music. Like, music needs to have lyrics. Like, it's not a song if it doesn't have lyrics." And a part of me wanted to just slap her across the face because it really hurt me. Like, it felt very disrespectful for you to ever come up to me and tell me that my favorite genre, the stuff that was created by people like me, for people like me, you're telling me it's not music because it don't got lyrics. Like, are you dumb? That's not how music works. Classical music doesn't have lyrics, and y'all consider it music.
Yeah, but a lot of people skim right past classical for
jazz music. Doesn't
people
have lyrics
skim
most of the
past that
time.
too. But I was gonna say, I feel like to be able to feel it so deeply, you have to be able to have the ability to understand or be able to recognize things that are going on underneath the surface.
Correct.
Lyrics they give you a story.
Yes.
They give you the opportunity to just glaze over and they're, forcing this upon you.
Yeah.
With words, they're telling you what's happening. Whereas when it's just the music, which is the instrument,
the instrument.
you have to come up with that on your own.
Correct.
And we had to create our own stories
because we didn't have anything.
Yeah,
so everything was stripped. So the actual music means something to us.
Correct.
And for you to call it noise is just, it really hurt my soul and made me want to fight this lady. And I was like, no, that's inappropriate. She genuinely just doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Like she will never understand. She'll never get it.
That just made me think about, so my dad, he also is a avid music lover, and he be feeling it as well. I believe that's where I get my understanding from, because it was passed on. But it just reminds me of like how we spend our time. Like we'll literally sit next to each other, and sorry y'all, my computer finna die.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I gotta go get the charger.
Okay, well, while she does that, he describes instruments as spirit catchers, saying that we all have a personal definition of the world, and your instruments help you translate your definition into an understandable description, something that can be shared with others, which is when you get into what Jada was saying about having hidden messages in the music that is more deeply rooted than the words that are flowing on top of the songs. It's like when you see people dancing at the clubs and they're dancing to the lyrics instead of dancing to the music, to the rhythm.
Yeah.
It's that same disconnection.
Well, that's why, hold on, I got two things. Sorry, y'all, I got the charger. First, what I was saying was, me and my dad, how we spend time together, we just literally sit next to each other and we share music. I share music from my time. He shares music from his time. And we just be like, yo, you got to hear this song. Do you know about this? And we'd be like, yeah, I know about this song. And we'd be next to each other just bopping our heads, having a little war on like the music we listen to. And I feel like that's a big part of our communication and understanding. And then as you were saying, the dancing, how people will dance to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Hip hop. I remember doing a hip hop piece, mainly house.
Yeah.
Where there aren't really any lyrics that you really can, and they be telling you gotta submit to the music. You have to. You can't be on top of it. You can't be on top of it.
It don't
You gotta
work.
get in there.
In the pocket.
Yes.
Because that's
where it is. That's where the feeling is. That's where the meaning is.
And I know that for a fact, that is something that cannot be explained. You either can hear the message or you can't, babes. You know what I mean? And I mean, you can teach groove, you can teach rhythm, but you can't teach a feeling. You can't.
And that's why
connection.
I feel like that's why when I was teaching, I used to feel like I'm not a good teacher. Like I can teach these kids steps all day long, but they don't get it.
They don't got it.
It's not in there. They don't. Yeah. I can't give that to you.
Correct.
I did write something about that kind of recently, just a little short something.
Just
would you like to hear it?
Just publish the book already, friend. Just publish it. Go ahead.
It's about music. All right. What I love the most cannot be held It cannot respond to my pain, only guide me to feel. It is not a part of the current time, just a part of someone else's past. What it is that I love most, not everyone can understand. That's it.
True. That is literally music in a nutshell. The it's non-tangible, but it means so much. And it literally carries us through our entire life. Like
Me for sure.
music is
If
always
you don't- if,
always
if
on.
you don't know nothing about me, your girl is listening to music. I listen to that stuff 24/7. Sometimes I play it in my sleep too, y'all. He guided me.
It just it's so hard to explain. The part about the hidden messages, he also says that the music re-evolved from blues to like soul funk, where the words, now that we have a very specific dialect, the African American vernacular became present in our songs. Like the words that we were saying could now be heard by those people who might not have actually connected to the music. And so now the connection between us and our music has become more apparent to the others, and it became too deep of a connection. So then they have to find a way to strip it down. Now that we can verbally articulate to each other, he was saying that they had to strip the hidden messages down so that the music doesn't have the same connection.
Which they still do. Once
Which
they
still
figure it
do.
out, they cut that shit off.
Hold
Lovecraft
on,
Country.
Hold on. Once they got a hold of that Lovecraft Country, they said, fuck no, cut that shit. Season 2 does not exist. I don't give a fuck what y'all wrote, who got paid, who's on the cast. When the people got a hold of what Lovecraft Country meant to us as a community, they cut that shit quick. Ain't no fucking way, Jada. That shit grinds my gears. I'm so sorry. Ain't no way. Everybody and their grandmother was watching that show. You cannot tell me that they did not have the funding or the ratings to make a season 2. But Stranger Things is I'm so sorry. But Stranger Things is about to be on season 5. Talking about the same shit that they've been talking about, ain't nothing new. I mean, that's a good show.
I mean, we could have a whole different discussion.
We could, but
that
we not gonna get stuck on that.
We'll talk about that another
That just
time.
really
We
triggered
could really
me.
get into that.
Jada,
Maybe that'll be the week after. But
you just triggered me.
back to the music.
Yeah, back to the music. In regards to that, the characteristics that gives the music soul and life is extremely important, because then the lyrics don't mean anything. For example, in Dreamgirls, when they do fucking Cadillac car, I got me a Cadillac, got me a Cadillac car, ooh, ooh. And then the white people redo it. I've got me a Cadillac, got me a Cadillac car. Like, it does absolutely nothing. Same lyrics, same words. Then you have Corinne Bailey Rae, her song "Put Your Records On." Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorites. They did. I don't know who. I don't even know the name of the band, but they did like some electronic like cover, and it's disgusting. It's the exact same lyrics, exact same tonation, but because the music in the back is absolutely soulless and lifeless, one of my favorite songs means nothing. Like,
Well,
it's the driest version of that song I have ever heard. And it gets played on the radio over and over again. And I'm like, why would you play this over the original ever? And why do y'all even know about this song? Do you know what I mean? Like, who showed you this song and said, hey, y'all, let's do a remix to this?
I mean, you know how I feel about them redoing
good
but
shit.
there's 2 points that I have in regards to that. And one is the speaker in the video used spirit catcher as a definition into instruments.
I said that when you were walking away. Go ahead.
And in regards to that, it's because what was it was like a techno thing for the remix.
Yeah, it
Yeah. It takes
like, yeah.
It's a big difference in how you feel the song and how the
Because
song is.
When you have an instrument,
It's more intimate.
yes, and you can feel the musician's soul through the instrument, and it builds, the layers build with the soul of the singer, which is why jazz and blues really just hit and took over in a different way, because you have all those things coming together and connecting. The it's not just about the bass.
Correct. There's so many
There's
different instruments for
so many
reasons.
different instruments.
And then the second point that I had, I don't know if this is the right time to bring it up, but is experience.
Yeah.
I write in regards to the things that I personally feel, and that may not mean shit to somebody else.
Correct.
And it may mean everything to another person.
Yeah.
Because they can relate, but that's from my personal, experience.
But the reason other people can relate is because you're writing from a point that is genuine.
Yeah. And then, but there's also like, let's say with hip hop mainly, it's not just music. It's a culture within itself.
Correct.
There's hip hop dance. There's a look, which they go into later as well.
Yeah.
But, and they talk about this too with like acting, like in order to be able to be a character, you have to have had some kind of experience to be able to pull from.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big disconnect with different artists, because a lot of them are faking the experience.
Correct.
And if you're faking the experience,
Facts.
then there's no way that you can feel the same in regards to somebody who has actually lived that life.
Facts. So you're right on time, because that was the next thing in my little notes here. So the idea that because our instruments were taken and they decided to make music more electronic.
Yeah, he says that about the timing too, the heartbeat.
Yep. What we did was now take music from the past and sample it, which becomes like your hip hop, and really calling on like our ancestors and their soul in order to help build ourselves back up. And this idea that we're constantly evolving.
I'm sorry.
This idea that we're constantly evolving and changing and recreating ourselves in a world that don't want us to exist, like does not want our culture to thrive. I don't know what they as in whomever has against us, but every time we be on the rise, they be coming to knock us down, to strip away what we built and created ourselves, to then become, he calls them a circus of personalities.
Which it is.
These like people who are talking about lives, like you said, they actually haven't lived, constantly promoting these different lifestyles, especially today in rap. And these are people who grew up in the suburbs.
And that's the thing with industry. And that reminds me, because I've been you know who I've been talking about. My girl, Miss Doja Cat, who I have been following for some years. When girl was in her room creating that good stuff, man. And then, you know, she was found and was signed, and her music has changed. It's still good.
Yeah.
But to me,
it needs to be marketable.
It doesn't compare to the stuff she was doing on her own. And now people are like, oh, Doja can be so great, but she doesn't want to be, and blah, 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 blah. Because there's so, when now, as opposed to her being in her room making stuff for herself and being creative, there's other things brought on top of that, and they're trying to market to certain people, and they're trying to build this personality.
Yeah.
First of all, she already got personality.
Enough personality, but they're
trying to build this personality for people to want to listen to her and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And it was just so disappointing. Like, the albums are good, but it's
not the artist that you fell in love with.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah. But because when it's marketed, it's not marketed to us. We don't give money. It is marketed to young, white,
we know
kids
who want to listen to Say So,
who want to listen to things that are catchy and that they can repeat because they can't hold on to no rhythm or
now
depth.
I gotta fight at the Made in America because I can't listen to my favorite artist because they want to listen to Say So, and then they're also worried about going to see Justin Bieber.
But that's the only song that you know. Like, it has to be quick and catchy. The nuance of hip hop and what it's now become pop, but it's really supposed to be R&B. Pop is R&B without the black nuances. So they're taking what Doja Cat has built and creating something that's marketable and dry so that it's easily picked up.
Like he said, they took out the heartbeat.
They took out the heart. It went, and I love that when he said that the heart beats in 6/4, and now all of our music that we learned is in a 4/4. Like, it has to be even. All of the music that I personally enjoy, like the things that like really hit my soul, are polyrhythmic. Things where there's multiple layers happening. You really have to listen to the different instrumentation
again and again.
In order to,
I don't know if other people do this, but when I find a new song, when my dad finds a new song,
you just gotta put that joint on repeat. You be like, hold up, bring that back,
and discover the different things. But that also just reminded me of something else I wrote, and you brought up briefly, is how they change things, and he said that they knew that we would adjust to it. And that just reminded me of something in life, how I'm sick and tired of having to be the person to move on the fucking sidewalk.
Yep. Somebody said that on a podcast the other day, is like, stop apologizing and stop moving out the way. Because you are a person. You also deserve the space. They are, and it sounds like it's like conspiracy. You know what I mean? Which, that's the part that I don't like about the excerpt or the video that we watched, is that it's very like, they're doing this to us. They, right? But at what point are we accountable for allowing people to constantly take over our space, but also building them up, still giving these people our money, still playing this music that is stolen, that is stripped down, and hyping up these people that have no real depth or creativity.
Yeah,
And
'cause I was a little
I'm
hurt
guilty of it as
when you
well.
brought up Eminem. That's my
Yeah,
dude.
yep. I was hurt too, and it made me think about way back in the day when they were trying to like get rid of, it's like civil rights. And so the first group of people that you connect with are the lower class, who may not look like you, so they have a different social status, but financially y'all are in the same place. Those are the first people that you connect with. I feel like for me, Eminem holds a different feeling because he was a part of, that quote unquote white trash community. Like he grew up.
He experienced what he's talking
experienced
about.
what he talked about,
So
which I
it's
feel
real.
like is completely different than somebody like Justin Bieber, who's Canadian. I mean, he has the soul and he has the feeling because he grew up in church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he still, now he's
Learned?
getting back. Yeah, he still learned his personality.
From
Usher, a
Us.
black man
Yes.
from us. Even though he's starting to get back to music that is more true to him, but that's because he found the Lord.
But that's
found God.
also a journey within the industry because there are people who come up and they have an idea of what they want to make, but they are told what to make,
Correct.
and then eventually they get to a point where they're able to make what they want to make, Ariana Grande, and people are like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this?
They're confused because it doesn't fit the original personality that was created for her. And don't get me wrong, Justin Bieber be fucking jamming.
We be jamming.
We be jamming. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying, put him out there, but we be jamming. The other point that he made is, what worth do these characters actually bring to the culture? Nothing.
So when he was talking about that part, it reminded me of a video I watched a couple weeks ago on Andre 3000. Wonderful artist. But it was talking about why he doesn't make music anymore. Or I think the video was like how he ruined his career or whatever.
Yeah, a catchy title to get people to watch.
Well, like how he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he's just not really inspired to make music anymore at the moment. He'll play around and stuff, but in regards of coming back, it's just not something that he can do. He was talking about hip hop, and in his description, he was like, in order to be able to continue as an artist within the genre, you have to be hip. You have to be a part of whatever they're creating.
Correct.
And he's like, I can't do that.
Because that's not what hip hop was about. Hip hop was about the community and connecting and saying a story that meant something to everybody who lived in that area with you. It literally started off in small little pockets of communities, and they're just rapping amongst each other. Now hip hop is turning into pop. What's popular, what people enjoy listening to, not the essence or the soul of the community.
But you know what really like bothers me about that? And this came up when I was watching Euphoria yesterday, at one of the birthday parties, or a couple of the parties they had, the music they were playing. Now, Euphoria be having some good ass songs.
They do.
But at the parties of these people who are supposed to be in high school, in this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in this time period.
Yeah.
I was like, where the fuck is their music? Because all I hear is 90s hip hop.
True. True facts.
And then it reminds me of that fucking commercial.
Oh, where the Backstreet Boys commercial,
Yeah.
the Samsung.
And then it brings me to just the whole TikTok universe where they take songs, and it's not that people are enjoying these songs that we also have once enjoyed and still enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that then they try to claim it for themselves as
Yeah,
something that
as
they have
something
discovered.
that they've
like we
discovered.
haven't lived our whole life
Listening
with
to
this
these
music.
songs. Yeah. Like all of a sudden it's something new. It's exciting. Like, no, it's the freaking Backstreet Boys. Like,
I was like, where
no,
are their
it's
songs?
freaking Run DMC. Like,
Right.
and then it also in shows like that, I'm like, what does this song have to do with what's happening?
Because in the
scene?
beginning, that first there was a lot of music playing.
Yeah.
And I was a little
Yeah.
frazzled.
Yeah. But it's to pull in the people who actually have no idea about these songs. You know what I mean?
That was the issue with Suicide Squad.
Yes, Suicide Squad was just, I mean, it was a fire album. But what does
It was
this
a good ass album.
have to do?
But that's because the whole movie was the album.
The movie was absolutely trash. I'm sorry, it wasn't a good movie. But
I enjoy it. I don't know why.
The music was thrown on
It was
top.
forced in.
Yeah, to make it more exciting, to make
It's
it
not
popular.
It didn't drive the
It didn't
story.
drive
It was not
anything.
storytelling.
It didn't do what music is supposed to do.
Right. Now I tell you what some music did. The Jazz Man's Blues.
Yeah,
That music was
it.
hitting.
It was hitting. It was hitting, and it was all instrumental.
You don't need
Because you don't need lyrics. That's not what music is for. Music is to give depth and meaning to things. To add on, to further explain. It's literally a form of expression. Just like dance is starting to become entertainment, and y'all doing all them little weird ass
I know dance
movements
is
that
universal,
isn't actually
but I don't
dance.
even want to call it dance.
That's movement. And like, okay, so for my like working with the kids that I'm doing at the middle school, it's so hard for them to step out of social dances. Though I do understand that social dances are a huge part of the Black and brown community, because, you know, that's what we do at parties. That's how we connect to our music. But the social dances that they are doing are not, they don't have any of the nuances of Black or brown people, because they were not created by the Black or brown.
Yeah, but also those social dances are thrown in their face constantly. And they're not being taught the other stuff. But then also, in regards to that, it's just difficult to be able to step out of that, because that's their comfort zone. And dance is very open.
Correct.
You gotta be vulnerable.
Correct. But they can't. They're not.
Do that.
They're so overly exposed to everything. Being vulnerable is scary. Like, that's a lot of pressure to see all these things happening in the world constantly,
especially in that
that stage in your life. Yeah. And you also don't know what they already see at home, what they already experience in their like daily lives.
Especially because with all of this stuff around us, it's being thrown in your face on how to be a person. Because he was talking back to the video about, you know, these personalities that are created. And that's a big part of just human culture, is these big personalities.
Yeah.
And even then, back to Euphoria, with I don't know if y'all watch it or not, but with Kat's character, when she was going through the depression, and it was all those other girls that were in the room telling you, trying to empower you and stuff like that, and they throw that in your face now too, where it's like, this self-help time is such a big thing, and if you know, wake up at 4 a.m. to, you know, do some self-care on your face, you should feel great. And it's like, nah,
that's not really,
my nigga, I'm still struggling.
Yeah. Cassie doing that religious 4 a.m. routine.
And I was like, it took you 3 hours to look like that.
Self-care is not self-care. It is a distraction. We can't start calling everything self-care, y'all. But that was a compulsive disorder she was going through.
But that's the thing, where everybody is trying to be the same person and look like the same person.
She literally winds up
remember
looking
you sent me
Maddie.
that meme? Like, I think it was about teeth. Everybody,
teeth?
Yeah. Everybody getting their teeth done.
Oh yeah, the veneers.
Yeah.
And y'all be looking crazy as hell with them
teeth, the eyelashes, everybody trying to
BBLs.
fly away.
It's the fucking BBLs
you don't need
for
that.
Me. It's the BBLs.
And you know, don't be hurt, y'all. Don't be hurt. Ain't nobody coming to attack you. Okay. It's just
it's an aesthetic that is being pushed because this is where the I can never say it.
Characteristics.
No. Caricature. That's what it is. Where they draw certain exaggerated parts. So you have Black people that is being imitated by non-Black people through surgeries and stuff, and being re-pushed to Black people getting surgeries done on themselves to look like people who want to look like them. You were created in an image that you have been told is not acceptable. To be pushed to something that looks like an exaggerated version of you. So now you feel like you need to look like that version. It's the same thing with the music. You have been told that your music is noise over and over and over and over again, even by Black people who are older than you, listening to music that you connect with, and they're telling you that it's trash, that it's noise. Oh, back in our day, we had real music. So then you're like, it's some wild ass music. Don't let them fool you. They was listening to some crazy stuff. So now you have these people telling you that this music is trash. So you're like, okay, well, what do I need to be making? What should I be making? And you go back and you listen to what's popular, and then you come back out with more trash.
But that's also the thing about art. And we talked about this a long time ago.
We did.
And he was talking about this, how they were taking it away from schools and stuff. They're taking away the communication.
Yep.
But also, even with the art in schools, they are, they're controlling it.
They're not allowing you.
You have to be doing it a certain way.
Just like you said with that art teacher that tried to tell you that your stuff wasn't finished. Like I said, I was done.
But also with my whole college experience, which I say over and over again. I came in as a certain dancer, and I went through the program, and by the end, your girl did not know how to dance at all. That's how I feel.
Because they had given you so much information about what dance is supposed
supposed to be like. And then I'm looking at everybody else and seeing how they look.
And you're like, that's not how
we had very beautiful dancers.
Yeah.
But you're in a program and you're all dancing the same.
It also has to deal with body shape.
And then also,
Oh my gosh,
also
there's so many things.
what's being praised and what's being ignored.
Yes. Yep.
In terms of the things that are being created.
And it reinforces
and
the idea.
The rules that are being slid under the table.
For certain people.
Right.
That just brings me to a quote that he said. So in regards to changing the rhythm from 6/4 to 4/4 and taking the knowledge of music and art out of Black and brown schools and changing the communication. Mm-hmm. He said, when you change the description, the definition becomes something else. So when you're like you said with the dance, they're constantly telling us, okay, this is what this should looks like. This is what dance should look like. This is what music should sound like. This is what art is. Mm-hmm. The definition, how we take it in, becomes a whole new, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a new experience. It's no longer visceral. We no longer feel it on the cellular level. We can no longer grasp the information that we need in order to feed our souls.
Because they keep telling you, asking you to describe it.
Yeah.
They keep asking you to describe it.
Over
and he
and
was
over
saying,
and over
he was
again.
saying, I heard the words, name it to own it.
Yeah. Yep.
They kept asking me to describe it.
But
then they would describe it as universal. But the universal language was not being accepted.
Jada, that just took me back. We didn't have a name. When they okay, let me calm down. When they brought Africans over, changed your name. Because when you cannot have that definition, that self-definition, and you change the description of who you are, you literally have nothing. Mm-hmm. You can't name it. It's existentialism, where, okay, this is a chair, but if I break a leg off, is it still a chair? No, because you can no longer sit in it. So then you have to try to pull shit out of the air,
which we've done multiple times,
which we've done over and over
which
again,
we've adapted,
and they change the description
and expect us to adapt to it.
Adapt,
but then he talked
do.
about dumbing down the existence of it. So they dumbed down the existence of it
and dumbed down our taste for excellence.
Right.
That quote
because
right there,
he said hip hop should be gone. We should be on to the next thing. But we're stuck. We're stuck.
But I part of the video kind of like rubbed me a little wrong, mm-hmm. because there are so many artists that still evoke that visceral feeling for me. But because the current generation with technology, the only things that get pushed are the popular things. Mm-hmm. The biggest difference is that when the radio was more popular, yes, it was pushing the same songs, but you still could have that disconnect. You weren't constantly connected with your phone. Mm-hmm. Further back, there was no real radio that was pushing our music. It was only pushing white music. So we sought out our communities. They don't have that anymore. There's nothing for them to seek out except what is readily available on their devices. So there's no exploration. The way we grew up, we still lived in a time of exploration and playing hand games outside. You know what I mean? And doing the little Sally walk and all those little things and connecting in that way. They don't have that. So it's almost impossible for them to break free because they have no need to explore. They see no need to dive deeper than what is put in front of them because they're over exposed, stimulated. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of I don't even know what kind of music I be listening to, y'all. But
Anything
I don't know.
that come on.
Yeah, but I don't really be listening to the stuff, yeah, the popular stuff. It just don't do it for me. Unless it's a specific person or a specific song.
I can still even when the lyrics don't speak to me, I can still find connection in the you know, the cheap hip hop.
Yeah,
Like
but I feel like
stuff like that.
How do you fucking say that?
Prefer?
No. On purpose,
Purposefully?
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't coming out. I disconnect myself from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I be jamming. But not because it's deep. And I know that I'm not jamming because it's deep. I'm jamming because that beat in the back is banging. There are lots of songs that I don't like the beat. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this. And it could be the most popular song.
Yeah.
But I do find that I can still find a connection to certain songs.
I'm also a
based
searcher.
on the instrumentation.
So I'll listen and stuff and I'll be like, oh, I like this. I have no idea who it is. I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
But then also I like to find artists and follow them in their career and what they're doing in their journey. And I really appreciate Willow's journey as a music artist, Willow Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that journey and her finding her actual sound. Yeah, just want to put that out there. But yeah. Anything else on the video?
I mean, no. I think Oh yeah. Okay. Just one more point.
Okay.
The idea that there are so many subconscious ways that we take in information.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this video really exposed the idea that the messages in music mean something to everyone who listens to it. And so as artists, it's important for you to be true to yourself and your experience, because that is the message that is being broadcasted every time you present something, every time you decide to put stuff into the universe. And like you were saying earlier, you write based on your personal experience. Your personal experience is what speaks to others, because most of the time, our experience that we think is just ours is actually a group experience that other people are going through. And to have art that's empty defeats the purpose of art.
I think somebody was talking about that recently in something I watched, but I can't remember where. Or
it's crazy how connected we truly are.
Oh, and that also reminded me of something else, but I'll let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. And more than just black and brown people, I mean in general, as humans, we're losing art in a lot of different ways. Though I do believe it means something a lot more intangible to Black Americans. Just in our style. Like, we can't even have style anymore. Like, child.
Style, my nigga. I can't even have my hair done.
Right. Like, why?
Y'all want to
Why do y'all want to be a part so bad? You want to be a part of a community that got stripped of everything. Like, damn, y'all got to have that too. I can't wear my box braids. That's facts too. That's facts too. But we won't get into that one. We won't get into that one.
But thanks for sending the video. Very interesting.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Ray. She's an interesting person too.
Do you have any updates? in regards to the project?
This was a really long week. I ain't do nothing I was supposed to do. But
That's okay.
I think this was helpful in my journey to look for what's prideful.
Because your goal is contrast between
yeah.
the positive and the
and
negative.
the negative, yeah. And trying to my mom told me that she doesn't enjoy the word pride. And it made me think of J. Cole, Pride is the Devil. She said she doesn't enjoy saying that our community needs to be more prideful because pride sounds like boasting. But I also feel like we need to boast because we don't. Scream out our failures and whisper our accomplishments. But I don't know. I'm sorry.
I think
that
it's
just
a matter
took
of
me,
understanding.
That just took me somewhere.
Understanding that we have accomplishments.
Yeah.
And finding each other.
And lots of other people. Yeah.
Where y'all at?
Where y'all at? And there's people doing great things.
Amazing things.
And thinking that it's just regular. Because constantly, putting ourselves down and belittling what we do and who we are. But yes, finding the pride and the joy within being Black versus all these negative things that are constantly coming in. And I think this video has brought me back to the idea of rhythm, which I have always thought is beautiful to know that each person has their own internal rhythm and movement patterns that feels organic to their soul. So I'm gonna try to play with some rhythms, and I'm thinking it'll look completely different from what I did originally, which was very angsty and open heart and slow and falling, heavy. I think this will be different, grounded in a different way. That's another thing. Being grounded is very Black American. Like being in the pocket, that just took me back to the hip hop thing. Being low.
You gotta be sneaking.
Because you gotta be. Okay. But no, other than that, I don't got no updates. Do you have updates, friend?
So my task was to think more about how I capture the different things for my writing. And I have thought about it a little bit. Usually the way it happens is I'll pick a piece of writing for the videos I've been doing on YouTube, the diaries. I'll pick a piece of writing, or it'll come to my mind which one is supposed to be next. And from there I can see, just like with dance, I can see what's supposed to be captured. So there's nothing, I didn't dive any deeper into that, but I was inspired over the week by music, by a specific artist that goes by the name of Kanye West.
His journey's crazy too, bro.
Out of control.
But it's that mental health.
Yeah. But his music has helped me be able to visualize the journey that I want to go on in the actual piece. So now I can see something, as opposed to last week where I wasn't seeing anything. So now that I can see something, I could do a little more.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't know if I have anything else, but I think we should leave everybody with the message of, what do you listen to? What do you intake on a daily basis? Just take a moment to really think about what it is you're ingesting, because there's a message in everything, and the world is energy.
They
so
talk about that. They talk about that when I was going through, not this past time, but another time where I was feeling lost and stuff. They were like, watch what you listen to. I was listening to a lot of Jaden Smith and a lot of other stuff that makes you really sad. And then I switched up a little bit and I felt, not that it always fixes things, but
Yeah.
it gives you, think about what you're feeding yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, spend some more time to figure out who you are individually.
Yeah. Because sometimes it don't even be messages coming from other people. It be messages coming from yourself. You talking to you. You know what I mean? So we gotta be mindful about how we speak to ourselves and who we say that we are. Honestly, this was one of the best episodes we've done in a while. I enjoyed this thoroughly. So yeah, that's what we're ending this on.
Yeah. So thanks for.
Oh, go ahead.
You
go
got
ahead.
something else?
No.
Oh, okay. Thanks for tuning in. Catch up with us on Instagram, YouTube. I got video diaries coming out every Wednesday. We got some movement coming. And stay tuned for updates on the project. And just get in tune with yourself. And try to be a little see if you can find yourself artistically as well.
Oh my
gosh. You
gosh.
don't have to be an artist to create art, We talked about that before. Don't be afraid to make a little something and just discover yourself. Jalen's got some words for you.
I do have some words. Wow. I don't know why, but really, wow. No. Not tears.
Oh.
Okay. I really need everyone to find the little pockets of joy and gratefulness in your lives. Because the world can be very immediate, instant, and the things that you do not focus on, or the things that you take for granted, can be snatched from you in an instant, including your life, right? So I don't know why the Lord told me to say that right now, but whoever listening, I don't know who need to hear this, but look for the joy and the gratefulness in your life, because it's there. There's so many things for us to be grateful for. Yeah. Yep.
All right. And on that note,
note,
you know where to find us when you need us, and don't be afraid to reach out. We appreciate y'all for listening.
Wow.
And have a wonderful day, week. We'll see you in a couple of those. And yeah, we out here.
Peace.
Yeah.